Hey guys, it's Mike here, and welcome to another video I'm bringing you here today talking about the new Dragon Ball Super movie, Dragon Ball Super BROLY. And in this video, I'm going to talk about this news that's coming out right now from IGN, everyone's favorite website, in which they say that Funimation is bringing Dragon Ball Super BROLY to North American theaters in 2019. So according to the article, it's that Funimation Films has acquired the theatrical rights to the new Dragon Ball Super movie, which is set to hit US and Canadian theaters in January of 2019. So this is going to be the dubbed version of the film, which is Dragon Ball Super BROLY. As you can see right here, they actually changed the logo. Wow, that's a really big picture. They actually changed the logo of the poster a little bit for the dub, and they even have the confirmation right here, coming to theaters January of 2019. The movie, Dragon Ball Super BROLY. I don't know, that text layout is just a little bit weird. It's clearly a little bit different from the Japanese one. So this dub is going to be handled by Funimation, so of course we're going to see the return of Sean Schemmel as Goku, Chris Sabat as Vegeta, and Piccolo, and Yamcha, who Broly looks a lot like in this poster for whatever reason. And I'm sure that the voice of Broly will also be returning as well from the Broly movies that we've seen in the past. And as we can see in the Japanese poster here, this is only about a month after it comes out in Japan on December 14th. And this is really cool because in the past, dub fans have had to wait a lot longer for their dubs to come out of Dragon Ball. When the series first came out, we had to wait years after it aired in Japan for us to finally start watching it in English. The movies also took years. The Battle of Gods dub and Resurrection F both took a little longer than we had hoped initially, as did the Dragon Ball Super dub. But in this case, it's only going to be a month, so that's definitely a great improvement on the overall time scale. Although it seemed like at first when they were first announcing this film that they wanted to do a simul release, so basically it'd be released in not only Japanese but English theaters at the same time. However, as we see, that didn't end up coming about, and there's definitely a lot of reasons that are behind that maybe we'll find out at the next Kameha-Con, or maybe we'll find out at some other point in the future. But when it comes to this, of course, I have seen all of Dragon Ball Super in the Japanese, but I have been watching the English as well as it airs on Toonami in the United States, and overall I have liked the dub. I grew up watching the dub and some other languages at the same time, in fact, so I'm not one of those people who is only going to want to see it in Japanese. I do want to see it in the English language, although it would be cool if they released it in North American theaters in Japanese as well. I'm sure they're going to do that in some other markets like Australia, so I'm sure our old buddy Super Jane is no doubt going to be seeing it in both languages. But for me, just seeing a Dragon Ball movie in theaters like I did with Resurrection F is going to be awesome, and that's one of the reasons why I want Dragon Ball to start making more movies again in the first place, especially theatrical length ones that we can go see with other Dragon Ball fans and have a real community experience, which is one of the biggest reasons why going to the theater is so great. Now, the only concern I really have is the authenticity of the dialogue, because as we've seen in the Dragon Ball Super dub thus far, they certainly have taken their liberties. There have been a number of dub changes, and there have been a number of jokes that they've inserted into the dub as well that I feel like are a little bit too meta and kind of take you out of the episode at points. Like, for example, there was an episode in which Beerus made an Austin Powers reference of all things, when somebody had asked him, "Oh, where's the pizzas, Lord Beerus?" And he was like, "They're in my belly," which I hope that they just don't do more of in this movie. When it comes to my dubs, I prefer accurate dialogue. I prefer that they actually translate what is being said in the Japanese. And even when it comes to the humor, I feel like they shouldn't Americanize it too much, even though, American fans and other audiences around the world might not totally grasp the Japanese humor. But regardless, I think that it needs to be 99.9% accurate. It needs to be like Dragon Ball Kai was in the English, even though they changed a little bit of things here and there in the Kai dub. I definitely want something more along the lines of what we were getting with the authenticity of the Kai dub than what we got in the Dragon Ball Super dub, is basically the way I'll put that. Now, as far as how long it's actually going to be in theaters, I'm not too sure. It could be a limited release, although I think it would be smarter this time to release it in even more theaters for a longer period of time than they did with Resurrection F, just based upon how much money they made at the box office for Resurrection F, just based upon that limited run that they had in the United States. And it's obvious that this is going to be an even more wider appealing film than probably Resurrection F was. I mean, they're going for the most clickbait villain in the entire franchise after all. Even the title itself, Dragon Ball Super BROLY, sounds like a clickbait video that you would see on YouTube. But nope, it's real, guys. It's real. As far as my expectations for this movie and my excitement for it, I suppose you can say, as I said on my Twitter right here, which you can check out at LSM Mike, once I found out that it's going to be a BROLY movie, my excitement and my hype for it pretty much fell off a cliff, you know? As my longtime followers may know, I'm not really a fan of BROLY as a character. I never really enjoyed his movies, even when I was a kid. I liked some of the concept behind the legendary Super Saiyan. I liked how it was tied into the lore of both Goku and Vegeta's character, but just the execution of his character, and just how he's been used since, and how just insanely fan service the character has become, where he's inserted into literally every video game and every single thing that you can imagine, and now they're bringing him into the canon Dragon Ball Super, I just feel like is a step backwards in many ways. I feel like it just is a step down from what we actually could be seeing. And even though I wasn't behind the idea of another Saiyan coming in and suddenly being able to challenge Goku and Vegeta, I feel like depending upon how they wrote that new character, how they wrote his powers to work, maybe the people that he's with, his motivations, he still could have been really interesting and perhaps well done. But when it comes to BROLY coming back, that's definitely not something that appeals to me, and it really doesn't seem like it's going to be my kind of movie. Now, as we can see here, it does say that Toriyama is going to be basically redoing this character and making his own version of him, but Toriyama being involved in it doesn't exactly give me 100% confidence that this is still going to be good. After all, he was really involved in Resurrection F, and that ended up being really bad, and he was also the one who created Jiren without any personality whatsoever and made him his main antagonist. So Toriyama being involved doesn't automatically make me excited for this movie or make me think that all of my problems have gone away. It just makes me a little bit more cautiously optimistic. The original BROLY for me is such a boring character with such a weak motivation, who's only really there to be a Saiyan version of the Hulk, so it's not like it's going to be really hard for Toriyama to improve upon this character, but for all we know, we're just going to get an even blander version of BROLY that has less personality and is just going to be stronger and be able to fight Goku with a different style hair. So again, that doesn't really make me that excited for this movie, but hey, you know, I said I wanted movies, and I guess I'm getting it, whether this is going to be a good one or not. But whether or not I'm looking forward to the subject matter, this film is going to be coming out in January of 2019 next year. So are you guys looking forward to this movie? Maybe you're a little bit more excited about it than I am, but I'm still reserving some of my judgment for when the trailer comes out, even though my hype for that trailer and for the movie as a whole is at an all-time low. But either way, this film is coming out in January of 2019. I'm going to be seeing it in theaters, I'm going to be reviewing it, and I'm certainly going to be talking about it before and after it comes out. So let me know your own thoughts down below. Are you going to be seeing the movie in theaters? And are you looking forward to it? Or like me, are you maybe disappointed in what kind of movie we're going to get and maybe not really that excited? Let me know down below. And if you're new to this channel, then make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so you can see all of my content right away when it comes out. And if you like this video, then make sure to stick around because there's a lot more to come in the future.
Yeah, and you better subscribe, enable those damn notifications.